Okay, everybody, Tom here with a video for you. I think it's our first video of the semester. This is going to be teaching some skills about some of the beginning elements of drawing, and what I'm going to do is draw digitally for you in this space what we're looking at in the photograph here. So I'm going to get started with that. We'll just let that get going. So sorry about the yellow circle around my cursor there, but what I'm doing is I'm beginning with what we call the preliminary sketch. I'm taking a look at my subject to the right of me, and I'm making some beginning spatial decisions. I'm saying, how is this tulip going to fit into this space? So it's a square space, has pretty much the same height as it does wide, and so I'm giving that some consideration. I'm drawing mine larger than this digital image. So this is a preliminary sketch, just knocking in some lines to begin, trying to help me see what lies where. Okay. So this graphic here illustrates a point. I want to talk about capturing angles. So with the tool that I have in my hand, I'm holding in my hand, I hold it out in front of me so that I can lay the tool right against the angle I want to capture. I get a sense of that, I lay it across my drawing surface, get a mental picture of that, and then draw that in there. And that's how that happens. These lines are done digitally, and pencil lines will look more organic than this, but hopefully you get the idea behind capturing angles. It's the very tool that you hold in your hand. I do it with a brush, I do it with a pencil, I do it with charcoal, I do it with all kinds of mediums that I work with, even pastel, although I haven't done a pastel in a long time. So I'm just continuing on with some of this preliminary sketch. I can go pretty far with it. At some point, I'm not sure when, but I think I'll be pretty well done. I'm ready to start in with the drawing. So proper. I mean, right now, all this is just getting something on the paper to get started with. The drawing proper actually really hasn't started yet. A preliminary sketch can last a long time, or it can be very quick. Now what I'm showing you is measuring proportions. So what we're having to figure out here is the difference between point A to point B, from B to C. And I have my tool, and I put my thumb along the length of it and place the tip of it at my other point. And I measure that distance, and then I have that to compare with the other distance that I have. So with those ideas in mind, that is measuring proportions. They're points of comparison of different points within the scene. A to B compared to B to C. Once you know these visual comparisons, you can use them in your drawing. Okay? So here we go. I'm looking at that negative space right there between the edge of the picture plane and the tulip. And I feel like maybe I'm a little wide there. Here, I'm judging that as well. Pretty close. We'll see. So, anyway, go for some more digital line work. And I can draw a lot of lines in here. Just continue to work them in there and try to get the proportions as best I can. Now, I'm telling you that capturing angles and measuring proportions, preliminary sketch, those are the three most important things you can learn this semester. So bear that in mind as we go forward. Now, all those lines I made, I don't know which one is right yet. I'm just kind of marking it and developing it more and trying to get something in there that feels right. Now, I'm I'm basically veiling over all my lines here with a white filter, a white screen, just to knock those lines back. It's kind of the same thing as an eraser. I'm not trying to totally obliterate them, but I'm trying to knock them back enough so that I can now go in with a stronger line and begin making some more definite and defined marks. So we're going to go for that bottom right there. I'm pretty confident in saying that it lives right in that spot there. Okay, so there we are. Got a lot further to go. Okay. Went ahead and put in that side of the stem. I felt reasonably comfortable. That key intersecting point is what I was establishing. Okay. And then that. I may be a little wide actually on that stem. Maybe just a little wide. Okay, as I'm looking at that point where that one main petal of the blossom in front comes down and meets the bottom of the flower, I'm saying that it lives relatively there. Okay. So now I'm starting to just begin shaping and marking that big curvature of the outside of the flower. As you can see, I'm still changing and correcting my my lines. That point there is equal to that point there. That's a spatial decision that I just made as I was looking at that and trying to figure out where it lies. And so, yeah, that's reasonable. That's reasonable. Okay? Erase that out there. Now what I'm doing is I'm going along and paying close attention to the outside contour of that shape. And we'll talk about contour later on. But I'm judging widths and distances. I'm taking a look at the distance between, for example, the point with this unit here, yeah, this right here and the edge of the flower, and I'm figuring that it goes about right in here like this. So that's what I'm doing. Now, it took me about 15 minutes to do this drawing. I can't guarantee that it's going to take you 15 minutes. In fact, I would be shocked and amazed if it did. It's probably actually going to take you longer. I have experience. I've been down this path many times, so I encourage you to just have patience with the process and allow yourself the time and energy that it's going to take to learn how to do this. Okay? These are skills that the visual artist works at developing. You're not going to knock them out of the ballpark first try. If you do, well, you're kind of a freak of nature. Okay? All right. So, just looking, my eyes are jumping back and forth, left to right, judging where those points go, where I want to stop that line, start a new one, come on around to develop that shape the way it should be developed. So I'm watching that point right there. That's that point, okay? That's the correlation I'm making there. And then I'm watching how that goes in there, paying attention to that space right in there. Okay? All right. As I approach drawing this, I'm thinking in terms of kind of an order or a pattern to follow. I'm trying to take it one step or one chunk at a time. I'm not trying to take on the whole thing. I'm trying to take it on a piece at a time while keeping in mind the shape of the overall greater whole. Now remember, I have those preliminary sketch lines. They're sitting underneath there. They're that are showing me where I've been, and I can make a decision as to whether I want to keep going that direction or not. Maybe change my mind. So that's that contour right there. And that's that I was paying attention to there. Okay, that key intersecting point, where does that exist? All right, I'm going to say that it exists approximately right there. Okay. Now this will be a total and complete line drawing. When I do the other lines, for example, outlining the areas where this tulip is red, I'm only going to keep it at line to line. I'm not going to drawing any values yet, and I don't want you to draw in any values either. Keep this strictly a line drawing as you go forward. Okay? Coming on around. Will I meet up at that spot there? I don't know. Maybe I'll change it. Oh, I'm off. My goodness. What am I going to do? Okay, I'm going to erase that. Okay, so you don't have to agree with what you originally laid down. You can change your mind. That point there exists right across, roughly there. And that comes out like so. Okay. Now again, I'm just going to leave that line. I'm not going to shade in any value to try and say, hey, this is red, or this is darker than the rest of the flower. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start drawing in some of the variegation of red and yellow just with outlines. Now I'm drawing strictly by spatial judgment here. I'm taking a look at my overall shape of that one petal of the flower, and I'm saying, where does that point end? I think it ends roughly at that point. Actually, maybe I should have gone down a little further. I don't know. And then that's that shape. And I'm not going to do any more with it. Now, so I stopped the video. I actually did a whole bunch of lines, and you're just seeing me put in the last of them. I did that in part for the interest of time, but I basically went through that same process, putting in all the lines, describing the outlines of the red and the yellow areas of the tulip. Okay. And that's what you'll be doing in your drawing. Pretty simple, just a plain simple outline drawing. Remember, we're only concentrating on the very beginning elements of drawing skill in the drawing process here. Okay. Remember, my whole premise in working with you in this class is to help you think of this as kind of a record making or a record keeping process for yourself. So hopefully you can kind of use that as your hook for getting into this class. And so I'm just writing in the words of the basic skills that I'm trying to communicate to you here. Preliminary sketch, capture angles, and measure proportions. Took a while to write that. It's too light, too small, so I got rid of it. Made it bigger. Okay, so hopefully you get the idea from this little demonstration drawing as to how to do this. So I hope that this drawing serves to help you know where to go with this particular drawing of what I'm asking of you. Pay attention to what's communicated in the lesson materials as for size. And that's it for me. Good luck with you for week 1 and or for the